Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm your pilot wannabe for today's flight. We're going to do another leg of the lower 48 states capital city tour. So we're going to be going from Hartford, Connecticut to Trenton, New Jersey. And we're going to be taking the Cessna 404 Titan, which is newly available to me in Flight Simulator 2024. But we'll talk more about that after we look at the flight plan, which I guess we might as well do right now. So, see you there. And here we are in Sky Vector. I did a zoomed out start here because I don't know, anyone watching might want some orientation as to where we are, because we started over in Indiana and we've been zigzagging around the whole Northeast. And now we're going from Hartford, Connecticut to Trenton, New Jersey. And we're going to go right through all of this Class Bravo airspace in New York. I originally was charting my own course going around all of this because I kind of figure in real life there's a good chance that's what I would do. And then I thought, nah, let's do like a just 6,000 foot flight right through New York. I think the Statue of Liberty's down here somewhere. That kind of thing. Originally, when I had first glanced at this before making the last video, I was thinking the next leg of this was going through D.C. and I was going to go around that Washington. I was going to go around Washington D.C. But then when I decided to do this one, I got to looking at it, and yeah, it's New York. We're not quite down to DC. I think the next leg is going to get us over into Delaware, and then the leg after that will be getting into the DC area. But at any rate, we'll take a quick look at the airports here. We're taking off from the Hartford Brainerd Airport. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Elevation is only 18 feet. It's got a control tower. It's got a ATIS frequency that I wrote down. It's got some runways, nothing major. Small runway and a large runway. Charging a mint for fuel here. Jet A and 100 low lead, all $7.50. I'm glad my simulated flying is for free for the most part. I mean, I did pay $15 for the plane, but we'll get into that later. We're going to Trenton Mercer Airport. The surveyed elevation 212 feet. Control tower, yes. ATIS frequency, I already wrote it down. Couple of big runways for the most part, 6,000 feet and 4,800 feet. Looking pretty good. Jet A is a little cheaper. 100 low lead. More for the full service. What do they do windows when they say full service for an airplane? I'm just curious. Anyway, well, that's really not a lot to talk about. Like I said, it's a busy airspace, so I should have set this up as a IFR flight, but I didn't. So we're just not going to really talk to the ATC. One of these days, I really got to try and film an ATC controlled IFR flight in the simulator, and I haven't even actually done one in the new sim. So there's that. But whoops, I just accidentally moved that. Grabbed a hold of that and moved it by accident. Wow. Finding that I don't really know how to cancel that. Yeah, there we go. That did it. But yeah, we're going right through New York. Going right past Newark and JFK airports. LaGuardia, all the big ones. We're going right over top of LaGuardia. So there's that. Okay, well, I'll see you guys back at the plane. Okay, here we are at the plane. This person is looking at me suspiciously, I'd say. But then she's going to walk right through the wing of the airplane. So I should be suspicious of her, I think. I don't quite know why we have so... Well, I don't know what that flash was. I'll have to watch it frame by frame on the recording and see. But anyway, I don't quite know why we've got to have so many people lounging around every time I start this plane. Because we've got that person there waiting to... Oh, now the weather just changed suddenly. Anyway, we got that person there. We've got this one just watching the wing. We've got this chick that walks through the wing and just stands there. Yeah, I'd say there's a few too many people loitering around on the new sim. Anyway, so this is the Cessna 404 Titan. It's available on one of the more expensive versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I am only accessing the base version through Game Pass, actually. And get rid of this. They said that, you know, you'd be able to get some of the airplanes and whatnot from the higher versions eventually through the marketplace. And the last week when I made a video, the marketplace still just said coming soon. But between now and then, there's now a marketplace. And on the marketplace, I found some of the planes that are available in the higher versions, in the more expensive versions of the sim. And I got this one because it is very reminiscent of my favorite plane, the 414 Chancellor from Cessna. Now, the add-ons in the simulator, the 414 Chancellor is from FlySimware, and it's fairly highly detailed and fairly highly, what's the term I'm looking for? Fairly high fidelity in the model. This one is from Coronado, so it looks really good. Looks really fantastic, but not as detailed in the systems and whatnot. And really to fly it, I would have expected it to feel a bit similar to the 414, but this doesn't. You don't quite flying this. You don't quite feel its mass and size the way you do the 414. And if anything, this thing seems a smidge larger. I haven't looked at the weights. I mean, they were made. The planes were both made at the same time. You know, back in the mid to late 70s and early 80s. This one is a non-pressurized cabin, whereas the 414 and its very close brother, the 421 Golden Eagle, both pressurized cabins. This is a non-pressurized cabin, but it looks. So it looks just like those other two planes for the most part. The windows look very different, it being a non-pressurized cabin. Excuse me. The engine nacelles look very much more like the 421 Golden Eagle's engines, and I think they're probably geared. The engines go through, the power from the engine goes through a gearbox before going to the propellers, I'm guessing. Unlike the Chancellor, the 414, which just, oh, wow. You again. Anyway, unlike the 414, which is a direct drive. Anyway, let's go ahead and get in. A few things about the simulator. One, yeah, we don't need this many people standing around. We certainly don't need them passing through the wing like a ghost. They did make it to where now when you open the door, it puts you inside the plane. The only drawback I see to this is that you don't get to like look at what the plane looks like with the doors open, because if I move back through the cabin, see, we just got rows of seats in this particular model. It comes in a cargo and an ambulance version. I've only done this passenger version, but if I go back through here to the door handle and I hit the door handle, then it'll just put me back outside with the door closed again. So it's there's probably a way to do it where I can look at the plane with the door open. I'd kind of like to do that, but as it stands right now, no. It looks very much like the 414 Chancellor in here, just with a few less gauges. Like we don't have the controls for the pressurizing the cabin and whatnot, but otherwise it's fairly similar. Let me make sure my controls are all working here because there have been issues. One thing it's definitely missing is the clicky sound when you move the when you move this. Oh, why is it not working? Why are my... Oh, there it goes. Oh, I bet I had the invisible white dot on something. Anyway, yeah, you hear just that bindy noise. There's supposed to be a clicky, like a nice zip clicky noise when you advance that, and for whatever reason, Garanado didn't model that. Oh well, it's a very satisfying sound. Anyway, since it's not a very, very highly detailed model as far as how the systems work, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing, pre-flight and all of that junk. We're just gonna hit it and get out of here. So I'm not even going to follow a checklist, which the checklist in the tablet on this isn't anything to write home about really. Anyway, so it's a little cattywampus. It's kind of strange. So we're just gonna run this. It does have this really cool door over here. The Chancellor only has like little vent windows, but this has the vent window or storm windows on both sides. But it also has this really cool whole big window thing here that you can open if I can get a hold of it. There we go. How cool is that? That's what you get for not having a pressurized cabin, which I don't necessarily understand. I mean, I feel like having a pressurized cabin makes a plane like this so much more useful. Because I mean, it'll go to 20,000 feet or whatever and go really fast and high. But I guess you got to have an oxygen mask on or the cannulus or something versus the pressurized cabin. You don't have to do that. Let's just start getting it going here. So I'm going to crack the throttles. Let's make sure the parking brake is in fact set and the switch is set on my hardware. The landing gear lever is down in the cockpit and on my hardware, so that's always good. One thing, the power battery switch actually works on this. For some reason, it never would bind on the FlySimware Chancellor. So let's turn that on and turn on the generators. And I bound these are the magneto switches. I bound those to buttons on the keyboard so I could just turn on all the magnetos. These fuel pump switches, they don't seem to work, which they didn't work on the Chancellor because the Chancellor has 3 position switches. There's low, off, and high on the fuel pumps. These are only 1 position switches because, look, when I hit them, they go on. I hit them, they go off. There's only the 2 positions, but they won't work they're to my bound hardware button, and they don't look right. It just says fuel pump and it says low. So when the switches are down, are they on low? Is this actually off? Or is this on? I don't hear anything. I don't hear any difference. So I don't know. This is what you get, I guess, when you have a low fidelity model of the plane. Also, it doesn't have a beacon light, although there is a switch here where the beacon light switch should be. It doesn't move when I flip my hardware beacon light switch, and I already tested this. This switch doesn't do anything. Well, at least as far as lights, it doesn't change. I mean, it's in the same row with the lights, but I checked it out in the dark, and nothing happens when you turn that on. So I guess before start, we'll just go with the nav lights being on. Let's see. What else should we do? Oh yeah, well, we got to prime the engine and stuff. So let's see. This primer switch is a little hard to use. Oh, wrong way. That's not the way I wanted. There we go. I'm priming the left engine for, I don't know, a 5 count. It probably isn't even necessary to actually start it. And I have a button bound on the keyboard for starters. There we go. My sound was pretty bad on my last video, but this plane is much quieter. So we're just going to try to... Well, I turned the recording volume down a little bit anyway, but this plane I feel like is much quieter than the Skywagon we were in last time. We'll go ahead and open this side just for starting the engine. Oh, I should have, should have made sure there was oil pressure and whatnot. There is. It's a plane from Coronado. It's not going to break. Everything's going to work. It's not going to break down. So there's that. Let's go ahead and prime the other side for, I don't know, 5-ish seconds. This is kind of a first impressions of this plane. I took it for one quick flight earlier. And by earlier, I mean yesterday. I guess that's technically earlier. Okay. That engine is alive. I don't know how much different the real plane would sound than a Chancellor, but I don't like the sound of this plane nearly as much as the Chancellor from Fly Somewhere. I found out all of my aftermarket planes. Let's turn on the... Oh, it didn't go. There we go. Didn't go because my invisible white dot was resting on the knob there. Anyway, all of my add-on planes from before are like disabled, and I can choose to enable them, but I don't know if any of them will work right. I looked at the Chancellor and it seemed like it wasn't going to work right. The controls weren't responsive, so I guess I have to keep checking back on that. Okay, what else should we do? I didn't even look at the weather when we were in Sky Vector, so I guess we'll get the weather radar warming up. And we'll put the transponder on standby. The GPS is going here. Oops. I didn't hit that enough times. There we go. Get those warming up. And what else should we do? See, we're taking off on runway 20, I believe. I've been trying to get all my controls, all my bindings where I want them, but it's an uphill battle because even now they only save about 75% of the time, near as I can tell. So it's always a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of a deal, because I'll do a bunch of work, get a bunch of things bound to buttons and knobs and switches, and then when I come back the next day to fly, a bunch of it didn't stick. So, I guess we'll just keep plugging away, and maybe one day it'll be nice. See, that's the thing right there. Okay. So I have a button on my yoke that is for recentering the view. I believe I was complaining last time that it wasn't letting me save a new cockpit view. So the way around that is to save a new custom view. And so I made custom view 0. That's what this angle of camera is custom view 0. Now I made the button that recenters the cockpit view. Instead of recentering it, I made it to where it takes me to my custom saved view 0. The problem is that even though nothing else is bound to that button now, no other function is bound to that button, it still takes me to some random views, and I have to hit it twice to get back to that view. So here I've gotten out of whack, right? I want to go back to my saved 0, my default setting. I hit the button once, and it gives me something like that. I hit it again, and it finally takes me to this. So the fact that nothing else is bound to that button, and yet it does that, yeah, it's just really goofy. Anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and pause the recording while I punch in the course we're going to take, because it's going to be a lot of spinning of the knobs here, because the keyboard thingy doesn't work. Even if it did, it would still take a while. Flight plan. See, this is where I punch in where we're starting from, and yeah, no keyboard thingy yet, so there's that. Okay, I'll get it all punched in and resume the recording. Be right back. Okay, I got the flight plan all punched in. Now, while we're on the subject though, I was trying to get the controls for the comm radio for comm 1 bound to my little autopilot box that has a radio knob to it, and it worked really good in the old simulator, but in the new simulator I can't get it to work. I can get it to where, let's see here, move the cursor all the way so you can see. See, it's moving the big numbers there, but if I push the button to move the small numbers, it moves both, and I can't make it not do that. I don't know why. It's very sad. I'll keep trying once in a while. Maybe it's some kind of a bug that'll get fixed by accident at some point. Anyway, I suppose I could, throw in the ADIS frequency into COM 2 for our destination. That would probably be cool, huh? Let's see, it's 126.775. So let's do that. 126.775. Bring that down to 775. 126. We'll flip that over. Let's make sure we're not already receiving it or something. That seems okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and there's the weird camera view. Let's go ahead and get the weather here.
Brainerd Airport information, Kilo 2100 Zulu. Wind 28 tree at tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear.
008.
Temperature 16. Dew point 1. Altimeter tree 008. 01. Visual runway 20 in use. Landing and departing runway 20. VFR aircraft say direction of flight.
Okay, switching over to ground. Request. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Because I'm not going to talk to them again. You know what? I'm not going to do this at all. I'm just going to take off. It'll be fine. Like I said, we'll try to do an actual IFR flight at some point. Well, now that it's pointed down here, we'll go ahead and throw on the taxi light and the landing light, and we'll save the strobe light for when we're ready to take off. Oh, I never turned the fuel pumps off. If they're on, I don't know. I don't know if they're on or off. I really have no idea. We're not running through a lot of stuff. In fact, we're not even going to do a run-up. We're just going to go. I might be able to get this flight done in one episode that way. So yeah, because I mean nothing's going to be wrong with the airplane anyway. It's a unbreakable plane. Okay then. Well, let's release the parking brake. Let's go ahead and murder this individual. Oh, my rudder pedals aren't working. I didn't see. That's what I get for not doing a test first. Yeah, the rudder pedals. I've been having this problem inexplicably where I have to unplug the rudder pedals and plug them back in again. So, okay. Parking brake back on. Stand by. Good news, bad news. Rudder pedals are working now. Bad news, engines died for some reason while I was doing this. Still don't know why we gotta have so many people just milling around. Okay, back inside. Why did the engines die? Is it because I put them all the way down? Okay, we're just gonna try to restart them. Wonder if it blanked out my whole course here. Let's see. Wait till it fires up all the way. Okay, yeah, I wish that hadn't happened. And why would the engines dying cause the avionics to shut down anyway? Very strange. It seemed to really coincide with me unplugging the rudder pedals and plugging them back in again too. Oh well. Well, at least it didn't lose it. While we're over here, let's put the flaps down one notch. Takeoff. That's also different than the Chancellor. Chancellor is a flapless takeoff, and there's an extra flap position too. There's only two down positions on this plane. There's up, and then there's the two down. Approach, takeoff, and the landing. Excuse me. In the Chancellor, you've got up, and then you've got three down positions. Okay, I'm going to try to not totally put the engines at idle so they don't die, hopefully. Oh, you know what? I never closed this window over here. No, it closed on its own. Unless I forgot closing it. Okay. So, like I said, we're not doing the whole run up or any of that hoo-ha. So we're just gonna switch the weather radar on. We're going to let's assume that we're on an IFR flight. What do we like for a squawk code? How about 2424? 424. Altitude reporting. Everything else the way I want it. Can't really pre-select stuff in the autopilot. We got a real old rudimentary autopilot here. Let's see, our first course is going to be 235, right? 235. So let's drag that back a little ways and then use the knob. 235 is going to be our initial heading. Sure, around about there-ish. Yeah, no way to pre-select an altitude. I'll just have to try to watch it and go grab it at 6,000 feet. Oh, okay. I'm flipping the switch to turn on the strobe light. Okay, that should be it. We'll just pretend that we got clearance to take off. Okay, my apologies for the camera. Actually, I could hit this button. This is the stock pilot view, but I like it up a little bit, so there we go. All right, let's just go and get out of here. It's not that long of a flight. It should only be like 45 minutes. I won't necessarily record the whole time. If I run out of stuff to talk about, I'll pause the recording and come back, when there's something to talk about. Of course, we'll be passing over New York, so maybe there'll be something to see. I mean, that's the main reason to be in the new simulator, is because the ground looks better. I'm trying to roll the power on slowly because they're supposedly turbocharged engines. Obviously, we can't break them, but okay. How do we feel about that level of sound? I'm gonna turn it down a little after I take off. Okay, tapping the brakes, raising the landing gear, and turning the game volume down quite a bit. Hopefully that's better. I'll turn down a little more. Yeah, well, I got so off on my volumes now. Oh, raising the flaps. and start turning on the course here before we bring the engine power back. Yeah, I don't have a lot of detail on this plane as far as the numbers, but I'm gonna bring the manifold pressure, which is over here, gauge for it. I'm gonna bring the manifold pressure down to 35 for the climb. Sure, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I'm gonna get the RPMs, the gauge right next to it, down to the top of the green, which is way down at like 18 or 19, which is another clue that these engines are geared, because that's awfully low RPM. Let's see, we're basically on the magenta line. Actually kind of overshot it while I was screwing around. See, this plane seems a little like it kind of floats and bobs around a little more than the Chancellor does. Okay. Oh yeah, 2,000 feet. Yeah, that's not a lot. I might go ahead and get the autopilot going on here. So let's try that. I haven't got that all slaved to it yet. Unfortunately, I got to look way down to the center here to hit the switch to turn the autopilot on. Then I can hit heading mode, which I also don't have slaved yet, I realized. There we go. Alright, so it's following heading, and it's following, yeah, that's all. It's following the heading right now. So I do have the knob for the heading slave, so I can turn us a little bit to the left, get us onto the magenta, and then switch it to nav mode. This autopilot can be a little confusing because all of these are buttons, except this AP is not the button to turn the autopilot on and off, unfortunately. The button to turn the autopilot on and off is this one down here. Alright, we're still climbing at a pretty good rate. In the Chancellor, I wouldn't worry about it because it's pressurized and you wouldn't be blowing anybody's eardrums out, but this one's unpressurized. So it'd be nice if we weren't climbing quite so aggressively. I think I can affect that with this knobby right here. Let's see if I can roll the nose down a smidge. Giving it a couple notches with the scroll wheel on the mouse. Well, it's not terribly consistent, is it? Let's give it another notch. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just gonna do what it's gonna do, I guess. There, that's a little more where I'd want it. I'm not gonna do, oh, look, it's going to town with the trim wheel. Berserk with the trim wheel, so it's trying to do something. Do a couple more nose down clicks. Now we're already at 5,000 feet, so another 1,000 and I'll just be hitting the altitude hold button. I really got to get all of these bound to the buttons on my autopilot box. It's just a little, I don't know, it's a little hard to tackle knowing that they may not save, you know. It's hard to work up the gumption to get everything the way you want it, knowing that once you turn it off, come back and turn it back on again, good chunk of it's going to be lost anyway, and you're going to have to redo it. Anyway, I haven't, let's see, oh, there is a green on the, look at that. I could bring that down to the top of the green on the manifold pressure, which is, what, 33? PSI on the engines right about there. There's a green. I don't see that green very easily because this big blue swath messes me up. Anyway, and we're at the top of the green on the RPMs. And I haven't done anything with the mixtures because these are turbocharged engines, so I'm assuming I don't need to do anything with the mixtures until they level off, which is how the Chancellor is. We're almost to 6,000 feet. Get ready to hit the altitude button. Yeah, a little bit of cloud cover. That's disappointing. I was hoping we'd be able to see the ground real well for this. And let's hit altitude now. Close enough. Now, unlike the Chancellor and like the 421 Golden Eagle, there are no Powell flaps. Goodness, sorry, I was hearing a weird click noise. Oh, it's the taxi lights. We need to turn that off. They probably try to go off when the landing gear is retracted. Let's turn off and retract the landing lights as well. A lot of crazy wind noise in this thing. Let's see, no way to tell what kind of temperature we got going on inside here. You got a thermometer for the outside air temperature? For a thermometer for the outside air temperature. Suction gauge. Now the fuel's significantly lower than I thought it was. Thought I'd put the tanks at well over half, and they appear to be under half right now. C'est la vie. I don't know, I'm not seeing an outside air temperature gauge anywhere. Any kind of a thermometer. Unless I'm just missing it. Sometimes they're built into the windshield and stuff. Yeah, no. Nothing like that. Nope, no idea. Oh well, we'll just ignore temperature for now. I mean, I suppose we can turn on the pitot heat just in case, just to be sure. Stall heat. Sure. Seems reasonable. Okay. And we're on our way. Going into a few clouds, looks like. Let's see. What's it look like on the flight plan here? We've got now 18 minutes till we already passed the first waypoint at Yaler. We're on our way to LGE, which is, LGA, which is the VOR associated with LaGuardia Airport, I guess. So this must not be connected to Nav1, huh? Because I punched in the frequency for LGA into Nav1. Doesn't seem to be having any effect here. Let's try punching it in Nav2. What do you say? 113.1, right? Okay. Now? Yes? No? No. Now we get the VOR to show up on this cool VOR thingy over here. Here. It seems more like radio frequencies than well, no, because it's well, I guess it doesn't have to be 3 digits after the decimal to be radio frequencies. Well, that's kind of sad. I thought I'd be able to really use the VOR on this plane. But I'm not sure how. Oh, maybe you have to actually switch that GPS to VLOC or something. What are these? all of these switches do. Select source GPS. ABS. Yeah, I bet you gotta swap stuff around. That's what it is. You gotta swap this junk around to make it come up on here. It's too bad. I like to do, you know, the two mode. Oh, there's that flash again. Anyway, I like to do the two modes of navigation at the same time, but apparently you have to choose one or the other. Oh well, I am all leveled off, so I suppose we should do something with the engines and whatnot, huh? I don't know anything about the numbers in this. Oh, there's the weather.
2100 Zulu.
We're already getting the weather for our destination.
Visibility 10. Sky condition.
Calm.
Few clouds at 3,200 feet temperature. 14C. Dew point 4C. Altimeter tree 00972. Kilo Tango, Tango November, automated weather.
Thanks for the info there, buddy. Okay, as I was saying, I don't know what engine settings. I haven't gone so far as to dig up what the engine settings are supposed to be. Let's go for 31 psi on the manifold pressure, and let's go for, let's see, it's 1918. Let's say 1750 on the RPMs, and then let's drag the mixtures down. Oh, see, the cruise power is way down there. See, we're still up in the climb power here. Let's drag the mixtures way down into the green cruise power percentages there. Wow, I'm dragging these mixture handles way back for this. Okay. Yeah, what's that? Oh yeah, see, look at that. Mixtures are way down there. That's creepy. Let's go ahead and bump those back up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, sure. Only pulling 176 on the ground speed. Not really breaking any speed records here. Okay. And we want to see the up sync switch is way down here. I don't know if it really works or not. It might. What are these other switches here? Oxygen. Okay, yeah. I don't need oxygen. This is a simulator. Alright. Okay, shall we take a look at the outside of the plane and maybe get some footage useful for making a thumbnail while we're at it? Okay. A little noisy. Let's see. I don't know my geography out east all that well, but I think we're over Long Island. Yes, this plane looks remarkably like the Chancellor, although the empennage, the tail, the horizontal stabilizer is angled up much more in a V, looking a lot more like the Duke. The Chancellor is a lot more flat. Otherwise, maybe this will be the thumbnail. Get my registration number in there real good. Yeah, I like the Chancellor's my favorite plane, but this will do. When I got the urge to fly the Chancellor and can't yet, I'll just jump into this. I guess you can use it for the career mode, which I've not really pursued the career mode at all. But I guess you can use this plane for the career mode in a couple of different ways. Yep. I believe we're flying over Long Island. We're not too far away from where JFK Jr. Crashed his plane and unfortunately perished in the Atlantic Ocean. I would be tempted to recreate his flight for a video, except I don't have a plane available to me currently that is close enough to what he had. He had a, I think he was in a Piper Malibu, and I don't really have anything like that. I don't know. I'll look up what plane he had for sure and reevaluate at some point. Maybe I'll do a video like that. Another thing, the Chancellor, the 414 Chancellor, has smaller windows because it's pressurized, but the view is still a little better because the vent window isn't in the way so much, and I feel like the Chancellor's engine nacelles are even just a few inches further out on the wing, so you get a bigger gap in here to look down through. But still, this is better than a lot of twin-engine planes where all you can see at this angle is the engine. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and pause the recording for now, and I'll start it up again if something interesting happens. See you in a minute. Okay, we're flying over New York. For me, the main reason to fly in Simulator 2024 right now is because the ground does look better, typically. Not so sure it looks better right now. Right before I resumed recording, there was a whole lot of little buildings popping in over here. I mean, I've been flying locally in my own town in the simulator, and it's been fun because of the fact that I could take off and look down at the ground and recognize landmarks, and it's a lot easier to fly visual reference than in Simulator 2020. In 2020, the ground looks good, but in sort of a generic way, versus 2024, where like the last time I was flying around Lafayette, I looked down and I'm like, oh look, there's the hospital. I knew where I was, and that wasn't always true in the old sim. So that's probably LaGuardia down there. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, we're making the turn at LaGuardia. How far have we got till our destination? 55 miles. So at this speed, that's what, 15 minutes or so? Got about 6 minutes till I need to think about descending. Let's look outside again. That's choppy. A choppy transition. Go down here and see how it looks. Ooh, wow, I froze it up big time. Okay, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm touching nothing. Touching no controls. Wow. That's horrible. I was just trying to move the camera down, the drone camera down below the clouds to look around better. Something I've done a million times on the old simulator. Oh my god, I'm going to switch back into the plane if it'll let me. Didn't respond to the buttons to go back into the plane. It's not good. Am I going to have to give up on this flight? Okay, I don't want to be in the drone camera anymore. Okay, oh my god, finally. Oh! Okay, whew, I switched back. It's still being chunky, still not letting me move. There we go. Okay, we're gonna leave the drone camera alone for now, since it's majorly unstable, apparently. Well, that's disappointing. How are we doing otherwise here? There are engine temperatures and whatnot like. Engine temps are way down on the low side. That doesn't bode well for the descent, since I can't close any cowl flaps to maintain the cylinder head temperatures. See, the cylinder head temperatures are at the bottom of the green. But yeah, the oil PSI is at the top, which is top of the green, which is peculiar. And then oil temperatures are dead center. EGTs are high too. You'd think with EGTs being high, the cylinder head temperatures would be high. But, you know, who knows with a model made by Coronado. Let's see, I should start descending in about 3 minutes. That's assuming I can get a controlled descent going on. Oh my god, camera, Jesus. But yeah, that's assuming I can get a controlled descent going on. I'd like to descend at like 500 feet per minute and get down to 1,200 feet. But since the autopilot, you can't pre-select a vertical speed. You just have to try to get it about where you want it, using the funky little dial down here. We do have a climate control system, air conditioning and stuff in here. Too bad we have no idea we don't even know what the temperature outside the plane is, much less the temperature inside the plane. So, doesn't much matter. Dare we try looking at the drone camera again? Let's try it. I just won't move it around much. Houses, houses, houses. Lots and lots of houses. Okay, where is the plane anyway? There it is. Okay. Are those houses or are they more like buildings? Yeah, they must be more like buildings. I would zoom down there and get a closer look, but I don't want to screw up the... Here, let's try to go down a little bit. Let's try and get the drone camera down a little lower. Okay, I'm just moving it down low a little at a time. Nice park down there. Big bridge. The Statue of Liberty might be out here somewhere. I think we might be getting ready to hit the next waypoint, which has a great name. Tickle. Yep. We're at 45 seconds. We're going to be making a right turn at Tickle. I like that one. I need to start descending right then too. Let me stop my timer here. Yeah, as soon as we hit Tickle, I need to be descending. Tickle. One more look down here. Yeah, isn't one of these the Statue of Liberty Island around here somewhere? I don't know. We'll make a special trip out to look at the Statue of Liberty at some point. It might be out over this way. I'm a little turned around. You know how it is. I'm always behind the ball on these flights. I'm always on the back foot. Okay, so I want to start descending. So I'm gonna put a little mixture in. Raise those EGTs as much as I can. And I'm going to hit the... Well, actually, I'm going to drag the manifold pressure back 2 psi, so down to 29. And I'm going to disengage the altitude hold and see if we can't get it to nose down a little bit. It's starting to respond. Yeah, I'm not going to cut the throttles a lot. Not that I think this plane is modeled with enough authenticity that I could shock cool it, but in real life, you don't want to drag the manifold pressure down suddenly and shock cool the engines, especially when you don't have cowl flaps you can close. See, I wonder if we can call our destination yet. How many miles have we got to go? 37 miles. So give it till we're under 30. Okay, headed for scenic New Jersey right now. I believe that's what we're crossing over into Jersey. Yep, I believe we're officially in New Jersey right now. Yep, there it is. Let's go back up to the plane with the drone camera. There she is. Alright. Could still stand to be descending a little faster. Give that a couple more clicks, and we're gonna go ahead and drop a couple more PSI on the manifold pressure, even though it hasn't really been long enough. Like I said, we can't really hurt this plane anyway. I mean, insofar as shock cooling the engines or anything like that. We can crash it, I'm sure. Although I haven't tried that lately. I'm assuming we can crash it. I don't really try to crash on too many occasions. What's this little sticker over here? Oh, it's a CO2 detector sticker. Interesting. Let's go ahead and kill the wow, the graphics aren't so good on the weather radar here, huh? Let's go ahead and kill that. Don't think we need it. How far we got? Oops, wrong button. 30 miles, almost 31 miles. Alright, let's look for it. It's KTTN. Bring up. Now this is another thing that really bothers me. I can't drag this window and make it larger. I would really like to see the whole nearest airport list, but I've tried and I can't drag it out to make it bigger. So I have to just carefully drag it down so I don't miss anything. Then when you do that, it still leaves you at the bottom of the list. Not helpful. KTTN I'm looking for. I feel like we're getting pretty low. Oh, that's another thing. It's not like I could pre-select that I want to be down at 1,200 feet. I gotta try to watch for it. Still no dice. Let's see, we're down to 3,800 feet. Come on, KTTN. Still nothing. What's further from you? Oh my god, hard to grab that little bar. Why is the list so small? Oh, is it the end of the list? There's too many airports out here. Alright, we'll try it again in a minute. We're a little closer. Almost down to 3,000 feet. And how many miles? 25 miles to go to our destination. I guess if we get down to 2,700, and it still seems like we're pretty far away, I'll level us off. Or I'm sorry. Is that what I'm thinking? Yeah, 2,700. Yeah, 2,700. Because that'd be 1,500 feet above the local ground. Oh, we're about to hit that right now. Altitude hold. I really gotta get this stuff mapped to my physical buttons. Okay, we'll let the speed come down so we can do like landing gear and flaps and stuff. Yeah, what speed is for the landing gear, by the way? Well, that doesn't say. Something around here that talks about landing gear speed? Come on, let me go. Maximum gear operating speed, 182. Alright, good to know. Takeoff and approach 182 also. Landing 152. Okay. Let's try one more time to see if we can call the airport. Sure wish I could just tune in the tower frequency and be, you know, be able to pick what I want to say to them. Then instead of having to choose it off this menu, something I was really hoping they were going to make better in this simulator, but they really did not. KTTN, come on. Still no KTTN. Like I'm seeing some of the same ones over and over again, like it's not really giving me a different list. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have to kill so much time trying to call the airport because of this stupid menu. Time I could really be, you know, looking at the scenery, preparing for the landing, stuff like that. But no. I'm gonna screw around with this stupid thing. It's just never gonna be there. Oh my god. What a complete waste of time and effort this is when I could just punch in the frequency myself. Okay, I guess we can't call until we get right on top of it. Let's go back to descending a bit. Matter of fact, we're well below landing gear speed, so let's pop out the landing gear. That ought to slow things down. Nose down a little more. Let's go ahead and bring the manifold pressure back to 25 psi. And do landing and taxi lights. Now we are 13 miles. Okay, when we're under 10 miles, I'll try again to call, you know, call the airport. You know, I could just look up the frequency on Sky Vector and spin the little knobs here. I mean, what's the point of having this all realistic where I can tune in the frequencies myself if it doesn't mean anything then? Yeah, on my video, my most popular video, the one where I was talking about the state of or condition of Flight Simulator 2024, somebody had made a comment, which is weird. I only saw the comment on my phone. I couldn't find the comment then on the computer. But somebody made a comment that I read where they were basically complaining about me complaining too much. And they said something about that it's a good thing I wasn't a real pilot because I complained too much. And I don't know a lot of real pilots, but they didn't, I don't know, the ones I do know don't strike me as the sort of people that complain far less than the average person. But anyway, said I complained too much. I don't know. I don't think I complain too much. I'm only complaining about things that are legitimately goofy and not working properly. If we don't complain about stuff like that, then it'll never get fixed. Most likely, will never get fixed. Okay, I'm under 10 miles. Got these flashies. Always with the flashy. I'm not gonna look for the airport again until I level off at 1200, which is right about now. Good enough. Okay, back to trying to find this stupid airport. Okay, why is this here? Okay, let's start over. Okay, nearest airport list. Gosh, if I could just see the whole list simultaneously, that would be a big improvement to start with. Instead of having to move it up and down like this. Oh my god. Still no KTTN? There it is, oh my god. Finally. I already got the weather. Full stop landing. Bitch.
Trenton Tower, Cessna, November 85 Papa Whiskey Bravo, 8 miles, northeast 1200, for to land.
For to land.
Cessna, November 85 Papa Whiskey Bravo, Trenton Tower. Altimeter tree 0. 09er, make left downwind runway 6.
Downwind for runway 6, okay.
Enter left downwind runway 6 Cessna Papa Whiskey Bravo.
Ah. Left downwind for runway 6. You got it, big fella. See, way below the flap speeds. There's going to be the heading for runway 6. There's going to be the heading for the downwind. And I'm 5 miles away. See, lights on. Landing gear down. Let's turn the fuel pumps on, I think. They might be on. They might be meaningless. Oh, I should have turned the prop sync off before I started tinkering around with the power settings. Remind me not to bother with the prop sync next time. I'm not going to go full rich on the mixture until we're in the downwind. And I'll probably go top of the green on the RPM in the downwind also. I used to watch a lot of videos that this guy made, who was a real pilot of a real Cessna 421 Golden Eagle. And like I said, it has these same geared engines, I believe. And he mentions on more than one occasion in his videos that the checklist calls for going full forward on the props on approach, but he goes top of the greens because, I mean, he has to pay for fixing his engines. So as opposed to spending all that time overspeeding them, he just goes top of the green on the RPMs when landing. And I think his feeling is that if something happens and he needs to go full throttle and, you know, like for a balked landing, then he'll push the throttles back forward also. Let's go into the downwind now, shall we? Heading. There we go. I'm probably actually a little too close, but c'est la vie. All right. I'm going full forward on the mixtures now. Really missed that zip noise. See, our speed is so low, I'm not going to go for flaps until we're coming around the bend on final. Let's say I don't have to worry about opening or closing any cowl flaps or anything, because I don't have any cowl flaps. It's the engine temperatures. Well, the engine temps have come up some, so that's nice. Use quite a bit of fuel, I feel like. Alright. I can't really see the camera's a little choppy. I can't really see over this big long engine nacelle. Yeah, there's the runway. I assume that's our runway. I feel like we're going a little away from it. Yeah, that's about gotta be runway 6. Since we're
Cessna Papa Whiskey Bravo, line 152 at 10. Cleared to land runway 6.
Oops. I accidentally hit the button.
Tango November automated weather observation.
Damn it. I wish I hadn't done that.
Zulu. Wind 152 at 10.
I hit the wrong button.
Visibility 10. Sky condition.
Let's go back
Few
to
clouds
Trenton
at
Tower. Acknowledge landing clearance.
Cessna
There we go.
Papa Whiskey Bravo. Did you hear my last transmission?
I'm working on it. Wrong button.
Cleared to land runway 6 Cessna Papa Whiskey Bravo.
Okay, let's disengage the autopilot. Oh, wow. That's a unpleasant sound it makes when you disengage the autopilot. getting a little altitude. I'm not real comfortable looking at the moment. I think I'm just going to roll us all the way around the runway heading and see where we are. Maybe we'll spot the runway before we quite make it back to runway heading. And well, that's a big stoppage. Wow, is it going to resume? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, the runway's way over there. Yeah, I could have done an actual downwind. That's okay. All right, doing one notch of flaps. So the approach flaps is what we're on. Going to top of the greens on the RPM and pulling the throttles down to under 25. Yeah, we're going pretty fast. Okay. Pulling the throttles down quite a bit and going for the landing flaps to try to get the speed down. The approach speed is supposed to be like 91, and what are we doing, 100 right now? Oh, big stoppage again. That's not really helpful. Oh, super chunky. There we go. Oh, is the chunkiness ever going to stop? Am I ever going to be able to complete this landing with all that chunkiness? Okay, I feel like we got a little bit of a crosswind here. I'm compensating with the rudder. Yeah, we definitely have some crosswind. I thought they said wind was calm before. Yeah, that's not calm. That's quite a bit of crosswind. Wow, really hovering. Here we go. Yeah, that's a lot of crosswind. Yeah, giving it some brake, raising the flaps, and bump the throttles
Cessna
back
Papa
up.
Whiskey Bravo, turn next taxiway.
Okay, buddy. Put the throttles up so the engines don't die. Now I'm going full forward on the propeller controls. Oh, the what do you call it? Flaps take a long time to retract and sound kind of miserable while they're doing it too. Which side do we want? I think this is a runway we're crossing, isn't it? No? Okay, we're going left. It's a runway.
Cessna Papa Whiskey Bravo, turn next taxiway.
Yeah.
Cessna
I
Papa
thought it
Whiskey
was.
Bravo, contact ground on 120.7.
Oh. Okay, we'll do.
120.7 for Cessna Papa Whiskey Bravo.
I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to go find a parking place. Now, what do we like over here? No, the tower's over there. It's over there. Yeah, okay, fine. We'll get off over here. I want to be off of all runways, not just the active one, before I do my other stuff here. Alright, bumping the engines back up so they don't die on me like they did before. Alright, we already turned the weather radar off. Let's put the transponder on standby. Flaps are already up. It's turbocharged and like fuel injected engines. We don't need to worry about leaning the mixture. Oh my gosh, it keeps chunking up again. Okay. Oh, it won't let me move. There we go. Trying to turn off the fuel pumps. Let's turn off the landing lights and the strobe light. We'll leave the nav and the taxi lights on. We turned on the pitot heat and stall heat. We'll turn those off. Okay. Oh my gosh. It is still super chunky. Might be too loud, but we're gonna open this. Okay, let's go see if we can spy a parking spot. Thinking maybe over there. Sure. Oh my god, so chunky. That's horrible. Taxis around pretty smooth. A little bit of a nosedive when you hit the brakes. Not a lot, though. I don't know how much would be realistic on a plane like this. Yeah, we'll park up over here by this building. It's probably some hangars in real life. I don't think this plane would fit in your average like T hangar. It's a pretty big boy. The runway light here. Yeah, we'll just nose up to the building and have us a debrief. Good enough. Okay, parking brake. I didn't think it was going to go there for a second. When the engine's idle, turning off the taxi lights. Let's go ahead and kill the avionics. And kill the mixtures. Use this crash bar here to kill the magnetos. And I'll turn off the generators and the power and the nav light. And since it had the fuel valves turned off, we'll turn those off. And the graphics in this one are a little fuzzy. I guess they just don't always stream in if I'm not looking closely at them, apparently. Okay, we're gonna leave that open for now. Oh, chunky again, won't move. Can't move. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not performing very well right now. Alright, we'll throw the door open, but we never really get to see it with the door open because it just makes us get out, then poof, and we're out. At least it puts us next to the door on this one, but the door's already closed. Yeah, maybe there's a way with the tablet to look at it with the door open. Can you do that with the tablet? Is that one of the functions on the tablet? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Tablet. Oh, don't have a cursor. No mouse cursor. Nope, don't have a mouse cursor. There it is. Wow. Ugh, jeez. It is running horribly right now. Alright. Oh my god, it won't let me move. It won't let me do anything. Oh my god. Yeah, it's freezing for a second and a half every 3 seconds. Environment, calculate takeoff, landing distance, blah 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 blah. Okay, is it down in settings on that wheel looking down there? If I could get the cursor down there. Come on, cursor, break loose. There we go. Tablet size, small. Yeah, doesn't seem that small. I mean, what it was large, cover the whole screen. I'm not going to try it because it's running too chunky right now. Flight planner, units of measure. Flight planner, aircraft pilot book. Yeah, none of that is where you can open the doors and stuff. I'm not even sure if you can really do it with the tablet or not. What the hell is this? Pilot book, okay. Flight planner. Oh, won't let me move. It's all the same stuff. Yeah. No. Getting rid of the tablet now. See if we can walk around the plane. It's going to be super chunky though. Anyway, so this plane will do until I can fly the, oh my god, it won't let me move! Until I can fly the 414 Chancellor in the new sim. Oh my god, I can't even walk around it because it just keeps freezing. Okay, whoa, it let me walk for a while. Crazy. Anyway, well, this plane's pretty cool. It'll do. for now. I kind of want the, what is it? I'm trying to remember. There's a Beechcraft twin engine that I can get also now that's on the marketplace. It's not Bonanza because that's their single engine. Whatever the twin engine, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Baron? Yeah, Beechcraft Baron. I'll probably get the Baron and tinker around with that also. Maybe for the next video I'll get the Baron and do it. And do that. That's probably more realistically the kind of plane, you know. Like if it was between getting one of these for real and getting a Baron, yeah, I'd probably lean towards the Baron. This thing's just basically a flying bus. You know, the Chancellor, even though it's the same Chancellor and the Golden Eagle, even though they're similar size exterior, the interiors are much more comfortable and they have, you know, potty seats and stuff like that. This thing's just a cargo van with wings, but it'll do for now. But yeah, I'll probably get the Baron and fly that next, because you know I like the twin engines. What did we learn on this flight? We learned that the simulator gets some terrible freezes, laggy freezes when you're getting near your destination right now. Not sure if we learned much else. We learned maybe I complained too much. But I don't know. I had just a handful of comments on that video, and only one of them was complaining about my complaining. Someone else's comment, they used the word cathartic to describe hearing me complain about the same things that were bothering them. So there's that. Anyway, so this is the Cessna 404 Titan. It's kind of cool. I like it. Doesn't feel quite as good to fly as the Chancellor, but it'll do. For some reason, the Duke, which is a similar plane to the Chancellor in that it's a twin engine, turbocharged, high ceiling, pressurized cabin, fast, you know, all that stuff. For some reason, I've just never warmed up to the Duke as much as the Chancellor. I really like the Chancellor, even though the FlySimware model of it isn't as detailed as the Duke's model is. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. There's a better view out of the pilot seat in the Chancellor than the Duke, and I don't know. I like the looks of it better. I don't know what my deal is, but at any rate, this is yet a poorer facsimile of the Chancellor, but it's what I've got. So I'll fly it for now. All right, folks. So I'll go ahead and let you go, and we'll see you in the next one. This is Papa Whiskey Bravo signing off.